7 times your 2018 under 212 champion. Congratulations, Flex.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into an epic showdown, Lee Priest versus Flex Lewis. Trust me, you do not want to miss this comparison, so make sure you stick around until the end. We're going to break down every single mandatory pose, dissecting the finer details and uncovering who truly dominates each shot. It's more than just muscle. It's about conditioning, symmetry, and the raw aesthetics that have fans buzzing. So, who wins the ultimate showdown? Will it be the mighty Lee Priest with his incredible detail or the shredded Flex Lewis with his championship physique? Stick with me and let's see who comes out on top. Alright, let's kick things off with one of the most iconic poses in bodybuilding, the front double biceps. Now, when we talk about biceps, there's no denying it. Lee Priest's arms are simply legendary. His biceps and triceps, perfectly peaked, have always been some of the best in the world. And in this pose, he just takes the crown. Flex Lewis, sure, his arms are massive, but they're not quite as sharp and defined as Lee's. Flex has solid mass, especially in his forearms, but the sharpness, the crispness of Lee's arms is in another league. Lee Priest's overall muscle separation and hardness, especially in his upper body, give him the clear edge here. But don't take my word for it. Look at the veins, the striations on Lee's arms. His conditioning just stands out, especially in the biceps. But hold on, we're just getting started. Can Lee keep up his dominance through the rest of the shots, or will Flex Lewis make his move? Next up is the front lat spread. Now we're looking at width, definition, and how those lats flare out. Flex Lewis has that powerful V-taper going on. His pecs are bulging, his chest is popping out, and he looks massive. But Lee Priest, his V-taper is just something else. Sure, Flex is impressive, but when we look at the fullness of Lee's lats and the overall symmetry of his physique, Lee has the superior aesthetic in this pose. You can almost feel the muscles flexing through the screen. The depth of his chest and the condition of his upper body give him the win in this round. But wait for it, we've got more poses coming up that will show a different side to this battle. Stick around. Alright, the side chest pose is where things start to heat up. Flex Lewis dominates this one. His chest looks like a mountain in this pose, popping with thick, dense muscle. He's got that perfect blend of size and conditioning. The striations in his chest and the fullness of his pecs are undeniable. Especially Flex wins due to his overall physique. His leg conditioning and detail are more enhanced and more visible. Now, Lee Priest's side chest pose is great, no doubt, but Flex's thickness in this shot gives him the win. The muscle density in Flex's upper body is truly next level, especially around the shoulders and chest. If you're looking for sheer muscle mass, this is Flex's round. But here's a fun thought. Does this muscle density outweigh the conditioning Lee's showing off? Keep that in mind as we move on. This is where Flex really steps it up. When it comes to back development, Flex Lewis is in a league of his own. Look at that width. His back is thick, dense, and absolutely shredded. The striations in his traps, lats, and delts are jaw-dropping. But it doesn't stop there. Flex has incredible depth in his back, with layers of muscle that give him a 3D look under the lights. And let's talk about his lower body. His hamstrings and glutes are fully developed, deeply separated, and conditioned to perfection. The tie-ins between his glutes and hamstrings are razor-sharp, making his back shots even more dominant. Lee Priest's back, while impressive, just doesn't have the same depth and sheer mass that Flex brings here. Flex's conditioning and muscularity in the back pose put Lee to the test, and he takes this round with his superior back width, detail, and insane lower body development. But wait, can Lee bring it back with his next pose? Let's see. Now we're in the back lat spread. And honestly, Flex Lewis just has the better back. His lats spread like wings, creating that classic V shape that gives him a clear advantage here. The thickness, the density, and the sheer level of detail make his back look absolutely insane. Lee Priest has a fantastic back, don't get me wrong, but when you compare it to Flex's level of depth and overall muscularity, there's no contest. Flex's lower lats are packed with muscle, his traps pop with insane detail, and his rear delts round out the pose perfectly. But what really sets him apart? his lower body. His hamstrings and glutes are deeply separated and conditioned to the max, adding another layer of dominance to his back shots. Flex is crisp and his back is so wide it almost looks like a wall of muscle. Combined with his razor-sharp conditioning and deep muscle separation, this one's all flex. You've got to give it to him for his overall muscle size, density, and next-level detail. Now we move on to one of Lee Priest's strongest poses, the side triceps. This is where Lee truly shines. His triceps are absolutely insane. The mass, the size, the deep cuts in every head of the muscle, it's all there. His arm looks like a sculpted piece of granite with thick, full triceps hanging off the bone. The way his horseshoe shape pops in this pose is unreal, showing just how dominant he is in arm development. Flex Lewis looks solid here, no doubt about it. He's got the conditioning, the detail, and the overall polished look that makes him one of the best. His triceps are well developed, his shoulders are round and full, and his obliques tie in nicely, giving him a strong presence in the shot. But when you compare it to Lee Priest, it's a different level. When it comes to the side triceps, this is Lee's world. Flex puts up a great fight, but Lee takes this round with ease. Now we've got the abs and thigh pose, and guess who takes it? It's Lee Priest again. His abs are etched in stone, perfectly defined, and the veins running through his midsection only add to the aesthetic. His core is tight, compact, and absolutely shredded, with every ab muscle standing out like it was carved from granite. Lee's obliques are razor sharp, his serratus muscles are fully visible, and his waist remains tight, making his V-taper even more dramatic. But it's not just about the abs. His legs are a work of art in this pose. Lee's quads explode with detail, covered in deep cuts and separation from top to bottom. Now Flex Lewis isn't slouching here. His legs are undeniably massive and his muscle density in the lower body is top tier. His quads are thick, his hamstrings are full, and his overall lower body development is world class. But when it comes to sharpness, definition, and pure separation, Lee just takes this round. The combination of his shredded abs and deeply striated quads is too much to overlook. Once again, Lee Priest proves why he's one of the most aesthetic and conditioned bodybuilders of all time. This pose belongs to him. No question about it. And finally, we're at the most muscular pose in another round where Lee Priest dominates. This is one of those signature poses that truly showcases what makes him such a freak of nature. His chest is full and striated, his arms are absolutely massive, every muscle fiber is visible, and his vascularity is off the charts, making his physique look even more detailed under the stage lights. Now, Flex Lewis is no slouch here. He's still got that dense, compact look with incredible muscle maturity. His chest is well developed, his arms are solid, and his conditioning is on point. But when you compare the overall impact of the pose, Lee Priest just brings a level of muscle fullness, vascularity, and separation that's too overwhelming. Lee's ability to display such raw density, detail, and conditioning in this final round makes it a clear win for him. He closes out the battle in dominant fashion, proving once again why he's one of the most complete and impressive bodybuilders of all time. So here's the big question: who wins in the ultimate showdown between Lee Priest and Flex Lewis? While Flex Lewis brought some serious heat in the back poses and his conditioning, Lee Priest dominated the front and side poses. Lee's muscle separation, conditioning, and overall aesthetic quality simply outshined Flex in many of these shots. But here's the catch: the judges often prioritize back development and muscle mass, and that's where Flex took the edge. If we were talking pure muscle density and mass, Flex would probably edge out Lee, but when it comes to sheer aesthetic perfection and conditioning, Lee Priest takes the win. Let me know in the comments who you think truly deserves the crown. Did Lee's legendary conditioning outshine Flex's muscle density, or did Flex's raw power win you over? Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more epic comparisons like this.